Hello, my name is Joshua Mugabi. I welcome you to Interdependence of Living Organisms, a self-assessment program. Classify the following animals as either carnivores or herbivores: cow, rabbit, dog, shark, sheep, deer, lion, eagle, giraffe, seal, grass snake, horse. Carnivores include the dogs, shark, lion, eagle, seal, grass snake. Herbivores include the cow, rabbit, sheep, deer, giraffe, horse. Classify the following as producers, primary consumers, or secondary consumers: caterpillar, falcon, mouse, tree, phytoplankton, pike, cat, grass, locust, goat, otter, wheat. Producers include trees, phytoplankton, grass, wheat. Primary consumers: caterpillar, mouse, locust, goat. Secondary consumers: falcon, pike, cat, otter. The diagram represents a food web that might occur on a rocky shore. Pick out the food chain that includes shrimps and ends with gulls. We have microscopic green algae, then we have the shrimps, then we have the marine worms, then we end up with the starfish, and we move to the gulls. Which are the producers? The producers are microscopic green algae and the seaweed. Name primary, secondary, tertiary consumer in the food web. The primary consumers are shrimps, scone barnacle, lippets, mussels, periwinkles, top shells. Secondary consumers: crabs, prawns, marine worms, goby, benny, starfish, dogwreck, and sometimes octopus and gull. Tertiary consumers: octopus, gull, and sometimes starfish. What might happen to the food web if all the mussels were killed by a pollutant? If the mussels are killed by the starfish will decrease in number, will eat more marine worms, the gull population may decline, the gulls may eat more dog wrecks. Each of these events will affect most of the other steps in the food web. A meal consists of grilled trout, potatoes, and mushrooms. Explain how each item is ultimately the product of photosynthesis. Trout eats aquatic insects, many of which eat microscopic algae, those are the phytoplanktons, which make their food by photosynthesis. Potatoes are stem tubers containing food which the potato plant made in its leaves by photosynthesis. Mushrooms feed on decaying organic matter, which comes from dead plants which had made their food by photosynthesis, or remains or feces of animals which feed on plants, or animals which ate plants which photosynthesized. On average, what percentage of the sun's energy which reaches the surface of the earth is used for photosynthesis? 100%, 10%, 1%, 0.1%. On average, only 1% of the sun's energy is used in photosynthesis. On average, what percentage of the food given to cattle is converted to flesh and bones? 100%, 10%, 1%, 0.1%. On average, 10% of the food given to cattle is converted to flesh and bones. Choose the most appropriate words from the list below to complete the following paragraph. The food chain dash passes from one dash to another. The dash of the dash is always less than that of the dash, because most of the food eaten by the dash is used to produce dash rather than new growth. The words from the list include biomass, sunlight, trophic levels, photosynthesis, producers, energy, consumers, decomposers. In the food chain, energy passes from one trophic level to another. The biomass of the consumer is always less than that of the producers, because most of the food eaten by the consumers is used to produce energy rather than new growth. Which two major groups of organisms make up the bulk of the decomposers? Bacteria and fungi are the principal decomposers. The diagram represents part of a simplified carbon cycle. Write the name of organism, substances, or processes represented by the letters A to F. A, these are animals. B, this is respiration. C, carbon dioxide. D, photosynthesis. E, respiration. And F, eaten by. What process removes and adds to the carbon dioxide in the air? Carbon dioxide is removed from the air by photosynthesis of green plants and by being absorbed by the sea. Respiration, decay, and combination of carbon-containing compounds add to the carbon dioxide in the air. What part do a nitrifying, nitrogen-fixing, and denitrifying bacteria play in the nitrogen cycle? Nitrifying bacteria in the soil convert ammonia and other nitrogenous substances, for example, urea, into nitrates. Nitrogen-fixing bacteria in the soil or in the root nodules convert gaseous nitrogen into nitrogenous compounds. Denitrifying bacteria in the soil decompose nitrogenous compounds to produce gaseous nitrogen. What process removes nitrates from the soil? Nitrates are removed from the soil by plant roots, by being washed out in the rainwater, and by the activity of denitrifying bacteria. The diagram represents a simplified water cycle. Say what might be represented by 1 to 3. At which 3 points in the cycle are humans most likely to interfere? Say what might be represented by 1 and 3. 1, these are clouds. 2, these are plants. And 3, ocean or sea. At which 3 points in the cycle are humans most likely to interfere? Humans are likely to interrupt the water cycle, 1, between the river and the sea, here, by irrigation and domestic and industrialization. 2, between the soil and the river, here to here, by drainage schemes, afforestation and deforestation. Between the plants and the clouds, by deforestation. In what ways do farmers try to improve the quality of their soil, their croplands? What other steps do farmers take to maximize the yield from their crops? In what way do farmers try to improve the quality of their soil and their cropland? Soil quality is improved by adding organic manure, composite, and artificial fertilizers, by adding lime to reduce acidity, by plowing to improve aeration and drainage, by draining to reduce waterlogging. 2, their crop plants. Farmers try to select crop plants which have high yields and which are resistant to diseases. What other steps do farmers take to maximize the yield of their crops? Farmers irrigate their crops and try to eliminate weeds and pests. Thank you for participating in Interdependence of Living Organisms, a self-assessment project. Please do like, share, and subscribe.